me just... Oh, there it is. There we go. How are we all? Welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess. I've just said that. It's alive. It happens. How are we all out there? Where are you? Why aren't you here with us on the live? I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock. So you should be here joining us. Hey, Warwick, how you doing? I know she just wrote that she was first, but I don't know where she is. I don't know where she's gone. I did see her write that she was first. It comes through as a message. It's really odd. But, yeah, I don't know where she's gone. How are we? How's it going? Can't believe it's Thursday. Can you believe how quick these days go? From 1 minute... I don't know what I've done here. From the Tuesday to the Thursday, it just flies, doesn't it? We're here again. I'm getting my elbow fixed tomorrow. I'm getting it fixed tomorrow. You can't see it. You can't see. There it is. See that lump? There it is. Getting it done tomorrow, which, well, hopefully I am. I'm going to the doctor's. Hey, sis. Hey, P. How are you doing? Sis, where did you go? I seen you write you were here first, even though Warwick technically is beating you. And then you disappeared. Where did you go? How you doing, P? How's it going? Are we all okay? Hey, Phil. How are we? He's here. We missed you the other night. They were on fire the other night, Phil. Just to let you know. They really were. They were on absolute fire the other night. Had to watch it back a couple of times to be like, oh my God. Oh my God, what happened? So the people watching it the next day would have been like, this girl's crazy. This girl's completely lost her mind. Because Tiffany got rid of some of the comments. So they couldn't even pinpoint it and realise why. I keep getting kicked off. I was so him. I did say to Warwick, I did say you were here first because I seen your comment come through like separate. I don't know how it happens because you're obviously writing it, but it's coming through to me as a message because I haven't pressed go. It's really weird. It's ever so weird. Sorry, let me just fix that. Sorry, that would have irritated me. Oh, you did? Of course you did, Phil. Of course you did. Yes, crazy bunch they are. They were absolutely on fire the other night. So, what we all doing the weekend? Have we got any plans? Have we got any exciting stuff we've got going? Mine's quite quiet this weekend, but my daughter's communion's next weekend. So, next week's got to make sure everything's ready because she's going to look like a little princess. So I've got to make sure. Do you want to know a secret? Okay. Her communion's on the 25th of May, right? Her dress can come anytime up to the 24th of May. I don't know what I was thinking. But it was fabulous and I had to get it. So everyone keep your fingers crossed that it comes in time because otherwise that's going to be a mad Friday. That's all I know. But yeah, so what's everyone else doing? Hey, Natalie, what you been doing? Where you been? I noticed I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Have you been away? Have you been doing anything nice? I mean, you don't have to tell us if it's not too nice, but if you've been on holiday or anything, let us know. Make us all feel jealous because it's miserable here. We had 3 days last week and that's it. That's our summer gone. It's been and gone. That's it. I didn't even get a chance to burn. I haven't even burnt this year yet, which is crazy. I'm used to looking like a crab stick. Oh, I know you will. I know. It's exciting stuff. Should you press how you get to try this? I struggled, Warwick. I struggled really. Do you know? And I didn't even see how that would have backfired. Oh, Natalie, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you feeling okay now? Are you all right now? Oh, that's sad. You should have joined us the other night. These would have certainly took your mind off whatever it is. I can tell you that now. Because, yeah, it was... I had to battle through the other night, although it was very... Can I say it was very funny? Not obviously the story I was telling, of course, but yeah, my concentration was just blown the other night. It was a very funny evening though. Stalker Warwick alert. a stalker, Warwick? Oh, have I missed something? Is this an in joke that I always get cut out of? If you are watching this tomorrow, I am gonna start the story soon. I am. Oh, sorry. Oh, they're the worst, Natalie. They're awful. I've got touch wood. I don't know why I'm touching. That's not wood. I don't know what I'm doing. Touch wood. I haven't had one in a very long time, but oh, awful, awful. I really feel for you. I think the last one, it was just painful to put my head on the pillow. I really sympathise with you because they're horrible, horrible. Is it sympathise or empathise? If you've got, if you can, it's sympathise, isn't it? If you can, if you've had similar, isn't it? It's empathise if you can just imagine. I always get them two muddled up, but either which one it is, I am with you, Natalie, because they're awful, awful things. I use what the Philly, is that what he's calling you, Philly? Is that because you call him dude? See, that's what happens. That's what happens when you call him dude. He's got a name for you. What was I going to say now? I was going to say, oh, do you want me to tell you something? Kelly, there's no Kelly and Sharon here yet, is there? But, and Hayley, no Hayley either. The reason I'm mentioning their names, but Tiffany's here, because they're on my Patreon. And I was going to say that next month, I'm gonna, from Patreon, from my Patreon, I'm going to, because he doesn't get notifications exposed. Oh, okay. Right, got it. He stalks. Excellent. I'm glad he does stalk. Oh, Hayley, just talking about you. Literally just talking about you. Well, you and Tiff and Sharon and Kelly. Because I was going to say that next month, out of my Patreon, I'm going to get myself a little better setup. It's not going to change anything, but I might either get myself a decent mic, because I've noticed when I watch this back, I could be clearer, or just get myself like a better stand, because at the moment, do you want me to tell you what I'm doing this on? I've got it set up where you can have a ring light. I can't have the ring light on because it reflects off my glasses and it puts me off. But the thing that the stand itself that yous are being held on with, it's just about keeping together. It's got a screw that doesn't even fit the hole that it's going into. You can let some of them go, Warwick. Let some of them go. just in case you might have missed it. But yeah, I've had to put that in and it doesn't properly fit, and then I've had to tie it with the wire, so it's a whole mess. So that's what I'm going to do from my thank you to my Patreons, or patrons as they're called. So that's what I'm going to get next month out of out of my patrons. So thank you very much. And you should be able to, it'll either be a mic or it'll just be a higher setup. But we were discussing this. I was actually, I might chat to you at the end about it, because I've started now. But I was just gonna say that here's you, Sharon. I was just saying, next month from my patrons, I might get a new mic or a new stand or something. I'm very excited. But the one thing I'm determined to not do is change this. I don't want to change my setup no matter what. And I could be missing a trick. Maybe I should. I don't know. What do you think? But I like when I like a channel, when they change, it puts me off a little bit. I don't know why. I hate change. Tiffany will tell you, the Peacock will tell you, I hate change. So that's where it kind of comes from. So yes, I'm determined not to change this. But I do think if I got like half decent mic and a nice stand, it might be better for you. But we'll see. Anyway, that's enough for that. How got that one, Phil? Glad you got your big ball pants on. Let's go. Excellent. what was I going to say now? Have you heard of this story? Because I think, and I could be jumping the gun, have I found one that you all don't know? If you're talking if you're watching tomorrow, I am talking to me live group, but hopefully you wouldn't have either. So I'm hoping I'm bringing a new one to you, because on a Tuesday we do requests, but on a Thursday it's a story I like to bring that hopefully everyone, it's one that hasn't been heard of, and then we can keep names out there that don't get as much coverage, I suppose you would say, and also bring a different story to all you guys. So I'm going to start, if that's okay with everyone. You've all gone very quiet out there. Are you all there? Are you still there? You've all gone really quiet. Don't know what's going on. Told you about my new setup and everything. No one's listening to me. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll be able to concentrate. That's fine. That's fine. I'll just get on with it myself. So, yeah, it's the, are you laughing at me? Or you on about his big boy pants? Why are you so slow as well, Peacock? Talking to you. No one's talking to me. But I'm going to start now anyway. So, anyway, okay. The Appalling Bega Schoolgirls story. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. It could possibly be the calm before the storm. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it could be. I do think that. So I'm gonna focus before the storm comes crashing in, because I'm no doubt it'll be a hurricane sort of thing. I've lost my wording. Oh, I made you giggle. Why? What did I do? But I'm really excited to get not a new setup. I just wanna, oh, was you on about the screw in the hole that got, I've said it again. Just thought I'd pop it in again. There's a lot of innuendos I'm throwing out there at the minute without actually meaning to. So I'm gonna stop. I'm not, yeah. And he missed it. I managed to get away with it as well, and I've just repeated it. Oh, did you see what I was about to do then? Right, okay. Let's go. Okay. If you're watching tomorrow, we're going to begin now. Don't know why I say it every time. They don't know. Okay. The Appalling Bega Schoolgirls story. All right. So we're going to start. So Lauren Margaret Barry. All right. This girl was born on the 11th of October 1982, and she was born in Bega, New South Wales, obviously in Australia. Looks a beautiful, beautiful place to live. Very quiet, very safe to bring your children up, to the point where you could allow your children to basically just walk around everywhere. Didn't need that. It said they'd either be on horses or walking. This was the life the kids lived around there. It was just a very idyllic lifestyle, and I've seen the sage just blue as you like. It just looks beautiful place to live. Now, Lauren said that she was very quiet. She's very loved being around her family, so quite a homebody. She was very calm. She had fun girl, but very sweet and kind and quite calm, as opposed to her best friend, who is a girl called Nicole Emma Collins. Now, Nicole, slightly older than Lauren, she was born on the 14th of November 1980, obviously still from the same place, Bega, New South Wales. Now, Nicole was actually the complete opposite. She was outgoing, quite feisty, she was friendly, vivacious. She was just quite loud, but in a lovely way. They were just a very nice pair of girls, complete opposites, but just got on so well, very close. And not just them, they had a really tight knit friend group. They all went to school together. They all hung out outside of school. Just a very sweet, close friend group, girls and lads. Lauren's brother, who she was very close to as well, he used to hang out with them. They were just, it just sounds like a beautiful way to grow up, basically. And this is how these girls lived. So now we're gonna come to the 3rd of October 1997. Okay. So Lauren at this point is 14 and Nicole is 16. Lauren's about to turn 15. And what had happened was it was Labor Day weekend in Australia. I thought it was just Americans that did that, but they celebrate it too, and it's like a long weekend. They've had our equivalent of like a half term off school and stuff, and they decide to go camping. Now the campsite is literally less than 2 miles from where they live. It's somewhere they go on a regular basis as a group of friends. The parents, even though it's a very safe place, the parents of Lauren and Charlotte will go up intermittently and check on all the kids while they're up there. I suppose making sure. I don't suppose it was for danger. It might have been, are they playing music too loud? Are they up to anything? I would more think it's that reason rather than safety wise, because it just seemed like that they were very safe. Really, they were supposed to be very safe there. So like I say, they were going to go camping that weekend. It was called White Rock near Bega. Like I say, it's only 2 miles away from, well, less than 2 miles away from Nicole's home. And Nicole's dad actually went up, I believe his name's Graham, he actually went up to set the camp up for them, get the fire ready and everything else. That's what I mean. That it just seems a very, very sweet, close-knit family group. So like I say, it was so close to where they live that on previous camping weekends, the girls would be able to go home to get a change of clothes and have a shower and have something to eat. So it more struck me as more glamping than camping, because, I've got to admit, I've got a secret, I've never been camping. It's the creepy crawlies. I'm just not an outdoor kind of girl. And it seems to me with them having this kind of setup where they can go back for food and get showered and get changed and then go back to their camping weekend, it just kind of tickled me a little bit, because I just thought it sounds more like glamping rather than getting down and dirty, like camping and being there for days kind of scenario. But like I say, Nicole's dad and Lauren's dad intermittently would go to the site to check on the girls and check that everything was okay. So that was on the 3rd. The 3rd was the Friday. Okay. They were having a brilliant weekend, lovely weekend. But over the weekend, Nicole had a little bit of a falling out with her boyfriend. And on the Sunday night, which would be the 5th of October 97, she was feeling a little bit down. She's feeling a little bit sad, a little bit upset, and all her friends. Now at that point there was Lauren and Nicole, and then there was another girl with them and 2 lads. Lauren's brother had just gone back home. He was coming back. So this is who was around the campsite at that point. And Lauren was trying to make Nicole feel better. She was a little bit upset over her boyfriend. And, she just basically said, this is Nicole, sorry. Nicole basically announces to the group, look, I know he's at a party nearby. I want to go and meet him. I want to go and try and sort this out. And they're all kind of like, look, it'll be fine. He's going to be up here soon. He'll come up here after the party. Just wait, just hang on. She's like, no, I want to go and meet him. She just couldn't, you know what it's like, young love and every, you know, a falling out is the end of the world, and she just wanted to go and resolve it as soon as possible. So she gets up to get ready to leave the campsite to go to this party where her boyfriend was. And Lauren, as a best friend would, like, okay, right, I'll come with you. So at this point, the two girls head off down the road. It was only, I think it was about a mile and a half away to the party itself. And they were going to walk. This was what they did. They're quite young. They can't drive. They're too young to drive. And they walked everywhere. So this is what they planned to do. The friends that were around the campsite really didn't. I think they were probably sad that she was leaving, you know, the fun they were having at that point, but not because they thought there'd be a problem or there'd be any danger. They just were like, oh, okay, then go on then, you know, and then thinking they'd come back with Nicole's said boyfriend, right? So about 9 o'clock that same evening on the 5th, on the Sunday night, Nicole's dad comes up just to check on them all, and he notices Lauren and Nicole aren't actually there, and he asks where they are, and the rest of the group say, oh, you know, they've gone to go to this party and stuff, they'll be back soon. And he wasn't too concerned, you know. It must just be so safe that at 9 o'clock at night, and he gets there and at this campground the girls aren't there, and he was okay with it. He was like, right, okay. So then about 10 o'clock, Lauren's brother, remember I said her brother who she was very close with, who used to go camping with them as well, he comes back to the campground. Same thing, looking around, you know, where's Lauren and Nicole? And they all say, oh, you know, she's gone to this party, they'll be back soon. She's gone to see if she can patch things up. He's like, right, okay then. So that was what everyone thought, right? So when they wake up in the morning, the camping group, they wake up about 8 o'clock, and Lauren's, oh goodness me, Lauren's brother is looking around and he sees they haven't come back, but he's not concerned. None of the friends were concerned. This is the Monday morning, they've woke up, they've had a fantastic weekend, and they basically think, well, the girls must have gone back to either Nicole's or Lauren's. It's fine. Didn't think no more of it. They all pack up, including Lauren's brother, and he heads home. Now, when he gets back, he asks his mum, look, is Lauren back? And she's like, no, I thought she was with you. And he was like, oh, she must be at Nicole's. And he thought no more of it at that moment. But when Lauren's mum gets in touch with Nicole's family, remember, they're quite close. They're quite close as a family, as friends, and their families are very close. Lauren and Nicole aren't at Nicole's house either. So straight away, there's sort of alarm bells ringing up, ringing like, where are these girls? So Lauren's dad goes straight out looking, Nicole's dad straight out looking. You know, they're panicking a little bit, but they're phoning around friends, kind of thinking, you know, it should be okay, but this is very unusual. They're phoning around. They know how close Lauren is with her family, Nicole too. And no one's seen them. No one's seen these girls, to the point where at 12 p.m, both sets of parents phone the police and they say, look, and they obviously explain what's happened. And the police, knowing the girls, it's a very tight-knit community, would know that these girls weren't going to run away. That wasn't who they were. They were very happy girls. They knew that that wasn't what had happened. So the police start searching quite quickly. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that there for 1 second. All right, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of characters. Okay, our first one is a gentleman by the name of Leslie Alfred Camilleri. Okay, now Leslie, Les for short, was born on the 31st of May 1969 in Liverpool in New South Wales. So there's Liverpool there. Okay, he was one of 6 children. No father in the home. He didn't actually meet his dad till he was 13, and by this point he was a nightmare. Les was. He was an absolute nightmare, even at that young age. It was said he had very poor impulse control, very, very quick temper. And from a very young age, he was into petty theft and vandalism. You know, it was starting to escalate as he was getting a bit older. He was put in a juvenile detention centre, which he ran away from at I think he was about 13. The police managed to bring him back a few weeks later to where he stayed there till he was 15. Then we come to September of 1997, right? Les was in court for the sexual assault against his stepdaughter, who was aged 11 at the time, right? 2 days later, the trial has to be basically stopped, aborted. It's just stopped through a technicality. He was at that point released on bail. Okay. And the reason he was on bail is because he was also being investigated for the rape of a 19-year-old girl a couple of weeks previous to this. And he wasn't alone with this 19-year-old girl. No. There's another lad I'm going to introduce you to called Lindsay Beckett. Now, you are right, we've got Leslie and Lindsay, more known female names, but Leslie, Les, and then we've got Lindsay Beckett. He was born on the 27th of March, 74. He was actually born in New Zealand. He had quite a low IQ, this guy did, quite gullible. He moved to Australia around the age of 20 and had the unfortunate, I'll never think of the word there, the unfortunate look of bumping into Les. Okay. Les was like 5 years older than Lindsay. And they went on to just start committing crimes together. And it was Les and Lindsay that were together with the rape of the 19-year-old woman. Okay. Now, at this point, Les, first man I mentioned to you, he actually had at this point 146 prior convictions for dishonesty, theft, willful damage, and then, like I say, the crimes had escalated to where he was sexually assaulting young girls and older girls. He was just vile, and he was bringing Lindsay along for the ride, basically. So that's those 2 characters. Okay. Now, on the night of Sunday, the 5th of October 1997, when Lauren and Nicole had began to walk away from the campsite to go to this party to meet Nicole's boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, but you know, she wanted to make up with him. When they walked away from the campsite, they had to walk a little way before they got to a main road. Now, at that moment in time, Les and Lindsay were a bit bored, and they decided they wanted to go to the beach. Now, these pair, while they're driving around, They were injecting each other with crystal meth and heroin for the kicks. They were drinking alcohol. They're driving around, by the way, and they're just bored. They've got nothing to do. Apparently, Les had a row with his girlfriend that he was seeing, so he took her car. It was actually her car they were driving around in. And so they're driving around up to no good. They basically tried to claim a debt for some drugs that they'd sold a guy. And when he couldn't pay, they took a pink TV as payment for these drugs. So that was in the back of the car at this point. And this is what they're doing. The car was a Ford Telstar. That's what it was. You know, not a particularly nice car, but this is what they were doing. So, just so unlucky that as Les and Lindsay were driving along the main road, Nicole and Lauren had just come out from the hill of the campsite and had started walking along the main road. Now, let me tell you what happened, all right? So, we get to about 10 p.m., all right? So the two men at this point, or just before 10 p.m., the two men, now it must have been a fair walk because do you remember I says that I think it was Lauren's dad had come to check on the campsite about 9 o'clock. So they'd already left by then. So it's a fair walk. They had a fair walk to go. So it said it would have been about 10 to 10-ish. They'd hit the main road and they were walking along. And the two men, Les and Lindsay, happened to come across Lauren and Nicole. And they pull alongside them, and at first they offer the girls a lift. And it was said that apparently the girls just got in. Now, that didn't make sense, not to the families, not to the police. Because these girls, they weren't like that. They wouldn't just get in a car with two strangers. That's not who these girls were. They were very responsible. They were very mature for their age, and they certainly wouldn't get in a car with two strangers. But apparently it was said that they got in the car. All right, so we'll come back to how that came about. But the pink TV set that I mentioned to you, the girls couldn't get in the car with the TV in there at the same time. So Lindsay took the TV set out and he left it on the side of the road. Again, seems a bit sketchy, doesn't it? The girls get in the car, okay? Now, they go for a drive to Tathra Beach first, apparently. Then when they're on the way back to the campsite, because apparently the men were going to bring them back to the campsite. They just brought them to the beach, you know, just to hang out. And then they were bringing them back, the girls back to the campsite, all right? As they were coming back, it was kind of a dirt road leading to it. It got a little bit bumpy. And for some reason, that just set Les off. You know, Lindsay says after the fact, he says he didn't know why it triggered him, but it just set him off. And the girls had got a little bit antsy in the back because the girls at this point had realised that there was child locks on the back doors and there was no winder. Remember, this is the 90s. There was no winder for the windows. So essentially, these girls were trapped in the back of the car and they'd started to get quite upset, understandably. They're in the car with these two strange men. So when the car had started to act up as he's going up this dirt road, he starts screaming back at the two girls, Lauren and Nicole. He starts screaming at them. And next thing you know, he starts brandishing a knife. while he's driving, he starts brandishing a knife, basically saying he's better shut up. So the girls are getting really upset. He says to Lindsay, get your knife out. So Lindsay gets his knife out. They both just happen to have these quite long, serrated edged knives on them. And Lindsay starts brandishing his knife to the girls, which is, it's upsetting the girls more, as you would expect. So they threatened to stab the girls if they didn't stop screaming and crying. So they had been heading towards the campsite. Now Les decided, no, we're not going to head towards the campsite, we're going to veer off. And instead of turning where they would have turned towards the campsite, they turned off. And they actually drove down to a rubbish tip that was in the opposite direction. When they got down to the rubbish tip, both girls were dragged out of the car and both girls were raped. Then they were thrown back into the car. They were driven further south. They were, Les had decided, as he was talking to Lindsay, he was like, I want to swap. So they swapped girls and sexually assaulted them again. These poor girls. These poor girls. They get to a town called Eden, where they are sexually assaulted again for the third time. Then they go to another place called Wigan Point in Victoria. They are raped yet again. This is 4 times. Hours are going by while this is happening. The girls are getting, of course, more and more distraught and hurt, and they're screaming louder, which is, of course, you've got Les threatening to stab them every time they dared scream or beg to be let go. And then Les, well, he's a little bit tired, after that. So he fell asleep in the car. And at this point, Lindsay's driving. Now, Les actually told Lindsay to head to Sydney, because apparently Sydney's got some fabulous bridges. And what he wanted to do was throw the girls off a bridge in Sydney. Okay. And yes, so when Les wakes up and he says to Lindsay, where are we? Where he's actually gone is a place called August in Victoria. Well, Les is livid at where they've ended up. He was fuming. So he says, just keep going. They start heading towards a place called Fiddler's Creek. Now, the girls are obviously asking, please let us go. We won't tell anyone. But Les had already whispered to Lindsay, they can't go back. So it was already predetermined what they were going to do to these girls. So nearly 12 hours, after encountering each other, the girls and these animals. I don't know why I always say animals. They're not animals, they're monsters. It's about 8 a.m. and the men had finally driven to a place called Fiddler's Creek. Now, they got the girls out of the car and they walked them through some woodland. There's that woodland again. To the water of the creek. They demanded that they strip off and go into the water to clean themselves off, get rid of all DNA, apparently. So they're ordered into the creek to wash. When they've done that, they're taken out of the creek. They are hog-tied and gagged. And then the girls were separated. They were about 100 feet apart from where they were, where each other was. And then Les, once they'd hog-tied the girls, they've separated them. Nicole was actually tied to a tree. Like I say, Lauren had been hog-tied. She was on her stomach. Lindsay and Les. Lindsay and Les get together, and Les then lands on Lindsay. You're going to kill them. You're going to do it. Of course, Lindsay's like, I'm not doing both. I can't kill both. And Les gets his knife out and he's good. You will, or I'll stab you. So Lindsay now is like, okay. And okay, all right then. But what is going on? So Lindsay then drags Lauren to the water, and what he tried to do was to drown her in the water, but when he was trying to force her head under the water, he got his left knee wet. He got wet. And apparently that, in his words, pissed him off. So at that point then, he grabs his knife and he stabs Lauren straight in the neck. And at that point, he leaves Lauren to die in the creek. And that's where Lauren was left. Then Lindsay heads up the embankment where Nicole has been tied to a tree, but she's kind of sat down, tied to the tree. And we don't know, but she could possibly have heard what had happened to Lauren. So she was crying and saying, "You're going to kill me, aren't you?" Basically, all he said to her, he just told her to shut up. And then he slit her throat a couple of times. But she was still alive. It didn't kill her. But she couldn't scream because then he stabbed her in her Adam's apple, thinking that would kill her, but it didn't. It didn't. Although she was tied up, she was still thrashing. She was still trying to fight. I mean, the strength of her, just the strength it would have taken. So he begins kicking her and punching her, kicking her in her head. And then he stabs her in her heart. Although she was still breathing at that point. He then again begins kicking her in her head, where eventually she slowly died, and he stood there and watched until she did die. Absolute monster. So then Lindsay walks up to the car, because you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, where's Les? The main instigator of this whole night of kicks for these men. He was in the car. He wasn't there for either murder. He wasn't around. He gave his instructions to Lindsay and he went to the car. He didn't get his hands dirty at all. Oh, I've just broke my lamp. Sorry. Of all the times that to happen. I'll sort that out afterwards. Okay. So when Lindsay got to the car, all Les says to him, "Did you see the demon?" What? Anyway, so Lindsay gets into the car and they quickly head off and they drive back to New South Wales. They immediately begin burning their clothes that had blood on them, plus the ropes and the gags that they'd used on the girls. They ended up throwing the knives that they'd used in Lake, it's called Lake Burley Griffin. They threw them into that lake. They obviously cleaned the car. They pulled the seats out and everything else to try and get this car fully cleaned. And then they just went about their lives. They just went on about their lives. Absolute. How would you just continue? Oh, it blows my brain. Now, like I say, this massive hunt for the girls had begun. And what's really sad, as you can see from the time frame, is when the manhunt began. In fact, they'd already killed the girls before the girls' parents even knew they were missing, which is heartbreaking. So when this manhunt began, the girls had already been killed. Just awful. So the manhunt begins. They were looking for the girls. They did find some clothes on that main road that the girls had walked down. When they brought them to Lauren's parents, Lauren's mum recognised the top and the shirt straight away as being Lauren's. But you want to know what's really odd? They gave the clothes to Lauren's mum and she took them home and put them away. I know it was 97, but it was I just found that so odd that's what they did in the investigation. I just found that a little bit odd. They did a press conference, which was, you can see online, of the parents. Oh, just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. The mums themselves just have their faces buried into the dads' chests, and it's the dads that are talking to the press, because the mums are just, they're all beside themselves. They just all look so drawn, just so bad, just broken, absolutely broken. All the friends, they were meeting up every night, finding out where they can look. Everyone was just, they just didn't get what was going on and what had happened, and they didn't want to believe that the worst could have happened. But they knew the girls wouldn't have run away. Now the pink TV, you might ask yourself, well, what about that pink TV that they took out of the car? Well, the next day, before the manhunt had begun looking for the girls, a street cleaner had come along, seen this pink TV, and took it away. So that had been taken. And unfortunately, the hunt for the girls got scaled back after 10 days. Nearly a month goes by. Then could you imagine a month without knowing where your little girl is? Just awful. Now we come to the 25th of October 1997. Okay. And what had happened is after the press conference, witnesses had come forward, and one witness had come forward to say, I'd seen a pink TV on the road the night before, and another woman from a reconstruction had come forward to say, actually, about 10 to 10 on the, sorry, what was the date? Let me just get the date before I mess up. What was the date? The 5th of October. About 10 to 10, she'd been driving around on that main road that I discussed with you, from the campsite on that main road. She was driving down there, this woman was, and she noticed this car, this dodgy, beaten up car on the road, and she saw a man and 2 girls at the back of the car. And then as what it was, she couldn't get past, so the car actually pulled in and let her get past. But she got a very good look at the girls, at the man, and then, but as she was driving past, she couldn't see the man in the driver's side because he kind of had his hand like this. So these are kind of the tips that the police are getting. And then they get the biggest tip of all. An informant comes forward to say, that pink telly that man saw, the witness saw, that was mine. But I gave it in lieu of drugs to Leslie and Lindsay. And knowing the history that these men have got, they were brought in straight away. And like I say, that was on the 25th of October, 1997. They were both questioned. And on the 12th, it took to the 12th of November, 97. They were again interrogating Lindsay, and they put photos of the girls in front of him. And he kind of turns away and he turns them over, and the police, they know they've got him. And then they ask him about a pink TV. And he'd been quite cocky, Lindsay had. He'd been quite cocky up to then. And he starts to shift in his chair. And he asks, can he go out? Can he go out for some air? I think he goes out for a cigarette. And while he's out there, someone overhears him say, they've got us, under his breath. And he's getting quite agitated. When he comes back in, he's a completely different person, and he makes a full confession, which is why we know exactly what happened that night. Lindsay then says, I'll take you to the girls. And he takes them out to Fiddler's Creek. Leslie, good old Les. Oh, he denies any wrongdoing. Because remember, he was in the car. He didn't get his hands dirty in that part. He just threatened Lindsay that he'd kill him if he didn't. So he basically says, you know, I was in the car, and I vaguely remember 2 girls in the back, but you know what? I was so drugged up that night, I don't really remember anything. And all I know is Lindsay pulled us over up at Fiddler's Creek. And when he came back to the car, I noticed he had blood on him, but I was so out of it. I don't know what went on. Just a vile man. But eventually both are charged with abduction, rape, and murder. Okay. Now, Lindsay, because he'd confessed, he pled guilty, and on the 20th of August, 1998, he's only 24, Lindsay, at this point, but he gets life, and the sentence is life with a minimum for a minimum to be served, put my teeth back in, of 35 years, which apparently is the longest pre-parole sentence that had ever been given up to that date in Victoria, where they were. So that was Lindsay. Now, Les, good old Les, his trial, because remember, he's pleading not guilty, this guy. His trial was on the 15th of October 1999. Now, he was about 24. He was coming up to 30, he was at this point. The trial went on for about 6 weeks, but on the 27th of April 1999, he was found guilty and he was given a whole life tariff. He will never get out. And the judge actually says that you forfeited your right to walk amongst us again. The judge was quite brutal to Les, actually. He understood that Les had, although not taking anything away from the disgusting person that is Lindsay, the judge obviously said that he knew Les had, he was the main one behind the entire night. So yes, full life sentence for him. The audacity of this man, though, he appealed his sentence in 2001 and 2002, both unsuccessful, and that was the last of his appeals. And as Les was being taken down, one of the mums, it just says one of the mums screamed out in the court, "I hope you rot in hell." And yeah, and I hope, genuinely hope he does, and I hope he lives in hell leading up to this. Apparently, he's had a lot of stick while he's been in prison. Excellent, excellent, good enough for him. And yes, that was the Appalling Bega Schoolgirl story. That was it. Oh, awful. Just an awful case, wasn't it? Another one that I'd never heard of. I'd never come across it. And then when I heard, I just thought, how heartbreaking. These poor girls living in such an idyllic, safe upbringing, and they just never thought anything of going to this party. And I think what's more heartbreaking is the dad had been up there, the brother came back, and they didn't think there was anything untoward about it that could happen. Just awful. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, I'm fine. Just very sad, isn't it? Very sad one, that is. Although I can say that Warwick, that close to breaking me earlier on, that close. I managed to hold it together. But what you say, yeah, I agree. Plenty of stick, Warwick. I don't know. I haven't heard that that's happened, but we can hope. But hopefully the pair of them, yeah, get called, be calling someone daddy in that prison. We can just hope. But yeah, just awful. Oh, you didn't, did you? Did you miss the end? Did you miss the end, sis? How did you miss it? Did you hear the sentences? When did you get kicked off? I was very focused this evening, bar catching Warwick's comment out the corner of my eye. I managed to stay quite focused. So when did you get kicked off? Is she kicked off again? She's gone really quiet. Oh, why is she being kicked off? What's going on? Where's my peacock? Am I going to have to sack you? Am I going to have to sack my peacock? Are you being unreliable? Where are you? Is everyone gone? Let me have a look. Well, you're all very quiet. Where you all gone? Oh no, you did hear the sentences. That's okay. Yes, Phil, Leslie was the leader of the two. He was, but yeah, and like you say, they're both despicable. It did say that Lindsay did have quite a low IQ, and they say that, you can be easily persuaded to do things, but I've done a lot of these cases, and there's no excuse. There's no excuse at all. There's many people who need help out there with certain things that don't resort to things like that at all. Too busy, lady loving. Who's lady loving? I heard the sentences, but as I thought, oh, okay, it booted you out at that point. So yeah, that's awful. Was that a news story for all of you? Had any of you heard of that one? Was that a new one to you? Because I did notice it was quite quiet at times. Oh, Sharon. What am I missing? What am I missing from you all? But yeah, good story. And oh God, what about my lamp as well? That was some focus, wasn't it? That I was quite proud of that. I was quite proud of that. Because if I could, let me just show you what actually happened. I can show you now. Hold on, I can't bring it. Oh, I can. Oh, here's my lamp. And the thing fell off. Look, the top of my lamp. I can't take it any further because of the plug. But look, there's my lamp. The thing just fell off. While I'm talking, I couldn't believe it. And do you know why it just fell off? Because my son likes his VR. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Hold on. Had you not heard of it? Excellent. I like to find ones that hadn't been heard of. He keeps calling me. Oh, you're a lady lover. So I've admitted I'm a lady lover. She's a lady lover. She loves the ladies, does our peacock. It's very true. She's been protesting too much, because if she protests, you know what that means. But yeah, he was on his VR and he destroyed my lamp, but I weren't expecting that to happen. So I'm going to, in the next month, get myself like a new stand and maybe get a light that I haven't. Oh, excellent. Did I get you all? Is that how you broke yours? Through the VR? Just kill him. I couldn't believe it when I seen it, and I thought he'd just knocked the shade until I went to fix it and the whole thing had snapped off. I think I got you all to know it, didn't I? I think this is a first. I think this is an absolute first where I've got you with one that you hadn't heard of. Because I didn't know this case. I didn't. I know it is an older one and stuff, but I just thought it was so sad, and just wanted to, get the girls' names out there because I hadn't heard of it, and I hadn't noticed many people had covered it either. So yes, I wanted to do this one for you. But yeah, I'm gonna get myself. You did. That's why we were quiet. I did notice you were quiet. I did notice you were quite quiet, and I thought, is it that quiet, or am I just missing the comments? By the Fiddler's Creek comment that I was thinking, one of them's gonna say something. Oh, you were thrashing out. Nah, okay. No, this was a VR. Did I knock that then? Did I knock my lamp? Did I knock my lamp while I was telling the story? I was just wondering how it happened. Did it just fall? Or did I do that? See how focused I get. I can't even remember. Did I knock it? Or I thought it just dropped. Or did I knock? Oh, wow. Whatever I've done, it needs gluing now. It's terrible. But I'm going to get myself an old ring light. That's what I'm going to do. Right. What was I going to say? Tuesday, I think I'm going to do Kelly's story. I did knock it. Do you know, what a blur. I'm going to have to watch it back. I'm going to have to watch it back. I genuinely didn't think it was me. I just thought it had dropped. Okay. Oh dear, I must have got myself really flustered at the time and completely forgot that I'd done it. I'd have blamed someone for that. I'd have blamed Lawson. I'd have blamed my son. And not remembered I'd knocked it. Although, like I say, he originally broke it. So in my defence, it was already half broke, but it was balanced. It was balanced lovely. Lady love and lamps don't knock it until you tried it. Exactly. It is in the Murphy bloodline. It's the memory as well. The memory's going. So it's all it's catching, isn't it? It's all catching. And I got my birthday soon. So that's just going to tip me over the edge because, yeah, on the wrong side of 40 then. Ugh. Wrong side of it. I never know what that means. If you say you're the wrong side of 40, does that mean you're above 45? Or does that mean you're nearly 41? What does that mean? Because you're not sitting in the tray with Tiff. Oh, are you there, Hayley, instead? Are you with the peacock? Are you in the tree? Excellent. Okay, if you're 21 again, I am. I'm not. Do you know the worst thing? I'm not even double that. I'm not even like 2 21-year-olds. What would I be? I tell you what I am. I'm the equivalent of 2 23-year-olds. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't love 2 23-year-olds? That's what I am. I'll be the equivalent of that. And I'm very proud of it. Yeah, that's where I am, Sharon. I am. I'm the wrong side of 40. That's where I'm heading to. Oh, God. Oh, I don't feel it, though. I think that's why it comes as such a shock. Because I just forget. I still feel like I'm about 16. So sitting in the tray with you instead of dude. Are you 36, Phil? Oh, so you look at you. I've got 10 years on you, Phil. That's not fair. It's not fair. Oh, so you'll have the big 4-0 though in a few years. Look, I have to say it because are you, Sharon? How exciting. 42, Hayley. Look at you. None of you. Do you know what? I think us ladies, I swear, I think we're holding our ages really well. I don't know about myself, but you ladies are though. I don't feel my age at all. I don't know about lucky, but I don't feel it. I certainly don't feel my age. I take that back mentally. Okay, I'll quite prepared to sit in between you and Tiff Haley. Perfect. Yeah, mentally. Oh, is it? So it'll be your birthday on Tuesday. I'll do you a shout out even if you can't join us. I'll even if you can't join us, I'll do you a shout out. I'll sing you happy birthday. Tiffany knows I have to sing happy birthday. I can't just say it for some reason. I have to sing it. I have to sing it out. What was I going to say then? Got completely sidetracked then. What was I going to say? I'm going to say something. Oh, it's gone. It's completely gone. But yes, on Tuesday, I'm hoping to do Aaron Hernandez. I bet in the morning you feel like that's what. Yes, thank you, Sharon. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say mentally, like I say, I feel about 16. But then when I go to walk and Quasimodo comes into effect, or the orangutan from Only Which Way But Loose, with Clint Eastwood, I'm really showing my age now. When that comes into effect, yeah, I'd more put, Sharon, 90 is a very good age to put me at. It's terrible. Sort of doddering along, shaking because my legs are going. It's terrible. It's terrible. Clyde, that's it, Clyde. Who was it? Wasn't it? Was it Kelly who said that a sister or something's called Clyde? Dude, he's a constant troublemaker. Okay, he is. He's been quite good this evening, though, hasn't he? He hasn't been too bad. Although I have missed a lot of the comments, so he hasn't caught my eye as much this evening, to be fair. But yeah, if you're watching tomorrow and you'd like to join us, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock. Tuesdays is request evening. Thursdays is my story, where I like to bring a story that you might not have heard of. Is Clyde Bonnie? Is Clyde Bonnie? What? I know there's Bonnie and Clyde. I'm on about the orangutan. That's how. Have I missed it? Am I being silly? Did I miss it? I know there's Bonnie and Clyde, and then there's me, the orangutan. I don't even think I'm saying that right. But yeah, see, you could join us. You could join us and have a chat in the comments with us all. Otherwise, I didn't get it. Did I miss it? I don't know. I missed it, I think. It's Clyde Bonnie. I don't know. I missed it. Bonnie and Clyde. No, I don't. Terrible, terrible. I've just completely missed the joke. I've ruined the joke. Whatever the joke was, I've ruined it. And I do that. I do ruin jokes because you have to explain them to me. And if you have to explain them, they're not funny anymore, are they? So yeah, I do that quite a lot. You said my sister was Clyde. Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I got completely sidetracked. No, I think it was Kelly, and she said that her sister was nicknamed Clyde. Tiffany, do you remember? Was it Clyde she said her sister was nicknamed? Is it something else? I can't remember now, but I'm sure that's where I've got that from. And then I missed, the bonnet. I'm sorry. Sharon, I ruined your joke completely. I'm so sorry. I'm just so dopey sometimes. It's terrible. But yeah, I will add, thank you, sis, patreon.com/JessRose5472. And yeah, very soon with my Patreon stuff, I'm going to buy myself. I don't know about the ring light because you stabbed that joke, Sid. Was that sis? Was that supposed to be sis? Backfired that didn't it? Trying to mock me and then got it wrong, So there, I did stab it though. It was terrible. It was actually really good. I just completely, and that it tends to do that a lot. I'm just, yeah, terrible. I'm terrible. I catch on to jokes probably about 5 minutes later. With no memories. That's very true. That's very true. Oh, over her sister. I'm going to have to ask her. Next time. Was it her sister that was called Clyde? But I've just, the Bonnie, and I've just ruined it. We're going to have to come back to it. Do you know what? The next time, when I say it to Kelly, if you drop Bonnie in again, I'll catch it that time. I'll catch it. You can't do it second time then. Easily pleased. We're all easily pleased here, Warwick. We all are. Yeah. Oh, well, I tend to be. But, right, okay, look at that again. I've kept you all for ages again. But I'm really glad I've managed to get one. You see, told ya. All of us, we're all quite easily pleased. I've managed I'm glad I managed to get one that you hadn't heard of. Is Phil still there as well? Because I just thank you all for joining me again tonight. Warwick and Phil and Sharon and Tiff. Who's still there? Is Natalie still there? I don't know if PJ's still there. Kelly wasn't there. Hayley. Is that everyone? Yes, it's jingle time. It's the time for the jingle. And if you're watching tomorrow, if you can't make it to the live, if you'd like to just I just can't get that, can I? I just can't. It's just not smooth, is it? But like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. Look at that. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, did you write there? I get really look, comment, subscribe, guys. It's getting aggressive now. I've got to stop being so aggressive. Oh, yes. Warwick called you all out the other day. He did. And sis, do you know what? He's got a point. Because you've got to comment in the main comments. That's what you've got to do. And Phil and Warwick tend to do it. But, and Sharon always comments, and Kelly's dropped a few comments. Hayley messages me. Tiffany, it's you. You have to comment afterwards because it helps me. It helps me. Warwick says. So they're calling you out on camera, calling you out because you didn't notice us calling you out in the comments. And we did. If you check the comments from the other video, we were calling you out on there. It's terrible, my peacock. Oh, yes. I've got it. Do you know what I should do? I should share my videos more. I did start on the Patreon. And then you're all here. So I'd stop putting them on there. And I do put them on Twitter. And I don't put them on my Facebook though. I put the link and ooh, dude and Phil, Sharon, your nose is bright. See, you got called out. You got called out for not commenting. You have to comment now. But yeah, you have to look, comment, subscribe, guys. Do you even like afterwards, Tiffany? Do you even like them? Do you even do that? You have to do that. Otherwise, we've got to sack you from peacocking. Have to. You have to like them and you have to go in and comment and say, well, how amazing I am. No, you don't have to do that, but oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be really nice. That would. You should be so lucky. You're so terrible. Right. Okay. I'm going to let you all have a fabulous weekend. Thank you so much for joining me again tonight. It's been amazing. And I've finally got you all in one story that you haven't heard of. And hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm not actually doing much of anything this weekend, I don't believe. Oh, my legs are stuck. My legs are stuck. But yeah, oh, that was what I was going to say to you is actually, oh yeah, that was what I am letting you go. That's what I was going to say though. You know, this setup, well, it can't be really called a setup, but you know, this surrounding that I have. Do you remember me saying, I know, I'm playing you up. Do you remember me saying, like, when someone changes in any way? Oh, bless you, Sharon. I was just going to ask though, but you know, if anyone changes in any way, it puts me off. So, do you think I should just keep this as is? Because I was thinking it, because I've noticed when someone switches stuff up a bit too much, I go off them. I go off that channel. I don't know why. Is it just me? Because I don't like change. I don't react very well to change either. So you'll have to let me know. You'll have to let me know your suggestions next time. But yes, thank you so much for joining me again. And I will see you all next Tuesday, hopefully. Look, comment, subscribe, guys. Look, comment, subscribe. Have a fab weekend. Look, comment, subscribe, guys.